this channel, we're focused on gut health, and today we're taking part in a monthly collaboration called the Shelf Stable Pantry Collaboration, hosted by Prepper Potpourri. For anyone struggling with gut health or wallet capacity, I'm going to share with you how to not eat like crap when you're broke. Today we're going to prepare a delicious and gut-friendly addition to any meal 100% out of the pantry. If you think eating from the pantry has to be boring, flavorless, or lacking nutrients, think again. This whole monthly Shelf Stable Pantry Collaboration that we've been doing since June is filled with delicious and easy meals that you can prepare completely from the pantry. In trying to improve my health issues, the focus on my channel has shifted much more towards gut health. My meals will be much more focused on transforming these seemingly boring ingredients into much more gut-friendly, proper foods that will bring your gut gremlins back on your side. Over the next few shelf-stable pantry collaborations, we're going to learn how to create several different parts of what Pinterest says is a traditional Indian meal. You might be shocked to learn that this pale ivory skin is not in fact Indian, but being Indian is not a prerequisite for cooking their tasty food. I'm making this meal out of appreciation for their food and showing you how this food can help your chitterlings work better. The spices in Indian cuisine were some of the first ones that were introduced to me and helped me understand that you can have tasty food not come out of a box. The spices and techniques used in Indian cuisine are fantastic not only for flavor but also for optimal health and healing. This sort of cooking holds a special place in my gut and I want to introduce it to yours. I didn't grow up cooking anything but ramen and macaroni and cheese, so all the knowledge that I've gained around cooking and gut health has been a combination of absolute necessity and ADHD hyperfixation. As a kid who detested anything with strong flavors, including tomatoes and onions, it's been quite a trip and a struggle to get where I am now. The first time I tried Indian food was with my dad at the Edmonds Ferry dock where we had some Indian buffet. It was terrible. After that, I wouldn't go near this stuff for a decade. I was low-key traumatized to that stuff. It was bad. When I met my husband, he introduced me to spices, Indian food, Asian food, African spices, all kinds of amazing culinary delicacies. I fell in love with cooking, spices, and all the things. And when we got a little more comfortable with each other, the natural progression of toilet talk comfortability happened. His natural schedule would make even Sheldon Cooper jealous, so I very quickly realized my poop chute was broken, and thus began my healing journey. It's been a rocky one with a ton of ups and downs. I've gained an incredible amount of knowledge as far as what to do, but just like everybody else, I struggle with maintaining its implementation. However, when you're taking a little extra time to turn these bland pantry staples into flavor-filled, gut-friendly sauce shovels, it sure does make it a lot easier. What are the best ways to intensify flavors of something that is seemingly so boring? Fermentation and spice, of course. So today we're doing both, and I'm going to explain to you how they work in the best detail that I'm able to, so you can take the principles and implement it in your everyday cooking. As someone who suffers with SIBO, I found that starches really don't do well for me. But if I ferment them, I can have them on occasion. When you ferment these starches before they go in your yapper, they don't ferment inside your giblets, causing pain and bloating. Not to mention the umami that's created through fermentation. What's umami? It's the 5th flavor receptor on your tongue, and umami is a Japanese word that translates as delicious. The flavor is technically an amino acid called glutamate. I know you've heard amino acids are the building blocks of protein, but seriously, what does this mean? I covered this in pretty good, hilarious detail over in my canning broth video, so make sure you go check it out. I'll link it down below and you can check it out once you're done with this video. According to Mind Body Green, when umami hits your flavor receptors, it makes your mouth start to water, which triggers your stomach to increase the production of stomach acid and helps you digest the protein in the food you're eating. Pretty cool, huh? There are a select number of places you can satisfy these taste receptors: meat, tomato, broth, soy products, mushrooms, cheese, and of course, fermented foods. When trying to make a tasty dish, you really want to make sure that you're satisfying all 5 of these tastes: sour, sweet, bitter, salty, and umami. You'll know you hit all of these when you're tasting your dish, and if your whole tongue lights up with flavor, you know you got it. Sounds weird, but it's totally legit. Before we get too far into it, I want to welcome you to the Fermented Homestead. If we haven't met before, hey, my name is Anna, and I bring you along for all my gut healing shenanigans as we fill our pantry and learn the skills we weren't lucky enough to have passed down to us. If you're having a good time, maybe think about sharing the love and sharing this video on all your social media platforms. Thanks. Today we're going to be making something called dosa. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That is how it's spelled. It's basically a more flavorful, gluten-free Indian tortilla/crepe. You can use the same batter to make these fluffy cake-looking disc things called idli if you have the right tools for it. But I don't, and I'm guessing you probably don't either. So an Indian tortilla crepe it is. There are a lot of these recipes out there with a wide range of unique ingredients that I don't have, and I'm guessing most likely you might not either. So I picked the simplest traditional recipe I could find. All those ingredients add up real quick. I'll link the original blog post that I got this recipe from down below, and that's where you're gonna find all of the ingredients that you need, exact amounts, and a much more detailed instruction as to how to make this recipe, all the pros, cons, FAQs, all the things. The main ingredients that we need for this recipe are idli rice, urad dal, You're a doll. Sorry. Fenugreek and salt. I got started on this morning by rinsing and soaking the rice and lentils for 5 to 6 hours. There's totally leeway with this. If you need to go longer to accommodate your schedule, don't stress about it. If you want to take this to an extra level of gut friendly, you can add in 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar per cup of dried ingredients to the soaking water. But these aren't super high in anti-nutrients like phytates and saponins, so I didn't really bother to take that step. However, if you're struggling with this, give the vinegar a try. Now we're gonna drain and rinse our lentils and get every bit of that milky torture juice out of it. If you're cooler than I am, you might have a wet grinder like all the other people of the world of Pinterest. However, I'm using my Vitamix. You can use whatever blender you have, and if the blender isn't quite strong enough, try using a food processor. We'll start out with the lentils. We're gonna add in about a cup of water and let it go. Once it gets to be a nice paste, we're gonna transfer it to another container. I'm gonna be using this glass crock. However, you can also use an Instant Pot. You can use a stainless steel pot. Don't use any metal other than stainless steel because we're fermenting, so it can start to leach some of the toxic nasties out of those weird other metal pans. It can cause the fermentation process to go super wonky. So this is definitely thicker than the last one I did. Now for the rice, all over the counter. 1.5 to 2 cups of water. Let's buzz this up. That should be good. And then we're gonna combine it with our other stuff. I'm not sure the exact consistency. This one is definitely thicker than the one I did yesterday. I figure we'll find out if it's better to have kind of a thicker paste like this or a little bit of a thinner one, kind of like a pancake batter. Don't be off put by the smell. It smells. It's not terrible smell, but it's a weird smell. It says to add rock salt, but I'm just gonna add our pink Himalayan salt. I'm also guessing this is where you're gonna add in the fenugreek. It doesn't say when to add it in there, but based on what I know about fenugreek, we definitely wanna add it now as opposed to later. She tells us that it is best for the fermentation process if we mix this with our hands. I'm gonna guess that the bacteria that are naturally present on your hands helps to kind of inoculate this sort of thing. So I would encourage you not to use any antibacterial hand soap now or ever. Hopefully you throw it in the garbage. We all know that different herbs and spices have different and unique flavors, but did you know that they also have their own unique and very powerful benefits too? Fenugreek is a super duper powerful anti-inflammatory herb, both for your insides and for your outsides. That's just the start of the amazing benefits that fenugreek has to offer. While we mix this, let's do a lightning round. Fenugreek can increase testosterone levels in men, increase breast milk production in lactating women, promote hair growth and can treat dandruff, improves skin health and helps to treat acne. Fenugreek products are found to reduce the severity of heartburn. I have a list here, so. May help with numerous digestive problems such as upset stomach, constipation, and inflammation of the stomach. It's often incorporated in an ulcerative colitis diet treatment plan due to its anti-inflammatory effects, can aid in weight loss and diabetes treatment. Fenugreek slows down absorption of sugars in the stomach. They are a rich source of steroidal saponins that intercept the absorption of cholesterol and triglycerides. Whole fenugreek seed powder could reduce aluminum toxicity by offering protection to the brain, bones, and kidneys. In case you're wondering, aluminum in the brain is a huge connection to Alzheimer's disease. I think that looks pretty good. Sorry, I'm weird. It says that the batter should be free-flowing but not runny. I think we've achieved that. So you're gonna wanna put this in a pot that has a little bit of room to grow. This pot is sitting right about here. I know it looks like it's here, but really I promise it's only down here. You wanna leave it room to expand. If you're gonna put this in an Instant Pot, do not put it in the Instant Pot lid. It will expand and you do not wanna clean up that mess, I promise you. I've had that experience making apple butter, okay? It's not fun. If you're gonna use an Instant Pot, you're just gonna put it on the yogurt setting for 12 to 24 hours. Just keep checking on it when it's ready. Me personally, I put it in the oven and I just turned the light on and that offered plenty of heat. So I'm gonna wash my hands, and through the magic of YouTube and some seriously impressive editing skills, we have our stuff that we made yesterday. You can see it's kind of started to bubble up. It's increased in volume. I would say it was probably about here and now it's gone up to here. Yeah, I'd say it's almost doubled in size. And you can see it's got a different texture. We know it's done when it's increased in volume like it has here, and it is nice and frothy and bubbly. And you can see it's definitely frothy and bubbly. But mostly take a small piece, put it in water, and it should float like a sourdough starter. If not, just let it go longer. This is where the instructions on this particular recipe ended. So I headed over to Dosa's veg recipes to get the finishing instructions. If you want to know how to keep your ferments safe in the oven, just do this. I figure it's a one strike and you're out policy. Feel free to use threats after they do that. We heated up our cast iron pan to low, medium to medium and add a dash of oil. You can use a different pan, but no oil if it's a non-stick pan. Otherwise, the batter just won't spread out. We're gonna spread a ladle of batter around, starting at the center and swirling it out. Cover with a lid and cook the dosa on low to medium heat. It'll take a few tries to get the technique and heat right, so have patience with yourself. When you see the batter on top has cooked well and no raw batter, and the bottom has become crisp and golden, then you're gonna sprinkle a quarter to a half teaspoon of oil around the edges and in the center. We're gonna cook until crispy how you like it. It should easily leave the pan, and the sides will also start to curl up and get separated when it's cooked. Do not flip it. When it's finished, just fold it in half and remove it from the pan. Like I said, this is the simplest recipe that I could find on Pinterest. There's a ton of other recipes that you can find that offer different flavors, different textures, all those sorts of things. I just wanted to keep it simple for both me and you. Before we give this one a taste test, I wanted to make sure to mention that all the links to the channels that are participating in this monthly collaboration are going to be linked down below, as well as the playlist that you can catch up on all of the different recipes that have been created since like June. There's a ton of them and some amazing recipes too. So make sure you check all that out down below. Now, let's give this a taste test. It tastes delicious. It's nice and crunchy. This is gonna be so delicious. You can do whatever you like with this. You can even use it in place of you can make it as like a gluten-free tortilla. Just don't cook it quite as crispy, and you can always flip it, of course, to get even cooking. But the traditional dish to kind of go with this seems to be this amazing looking, like a yellow potato type of flavor-filled, spiced, and we're gonna be making that together on March 7th. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you need more of this and you want another I can't believe I'm actually gonna do this. If you want more of this, this is so stupid. How am I going to do this? If you're left wanting more of this and you want some more gut-friendly, shelf-stable recipes, check out this video here where you can find 3 of the most amazing hummus recipes on the internet today that I'm sure you'll love. Peace out, sauerkraut.